Quick, graph y equals e to the opposite of x by hand 2 different ways and decide if the e to the x function is even, odd, or neither. This is part of the Family of Functions series. You will need graph paper or download this PDF and print it. Press pause as needed anytime in the video. The first way is with the e to the x dance. Y equals e to the x has an asymptote at y equals 0, and the negative in the exponent has no effect on the asymptote. So we'll go ahead and graph the x-axis or the line y equals 0 as our boundary line. The origin is unchanged by this negative exponent, and we will plot all points relative to the origin, beginning with right 0, up 1. And the reason for that is when x is 0, the opposite of 0 is 0, and e to the 0 power is 1. So 0, 1. Right 1, up 0.4. When x is 1, e to the opposite of 1 is the reciprocal of e, which is 0.4. X equals 2. The opposite of 2 is negative 2, so that makes that e to the, 1 over e squared, which is 0.14, a value that we just happened to memorize. Going to the left, when x is negative 1, e to the opposite of negative 1 is e to the positive 1, which is e, which is about 2.7. And left 2 up 7.4, when x is negative 2, the opposite of negative 2 is positive 2, and e squared is about 7.4. Connect the points, and this is our graph. Let's compare that to the parent function, and you can see that those are not equal, so this is not an even function. And if we compare the green graph to the brown one, the opposite of e to the x, you can see that those are not equal either, so this is not an odd function. Therefore, the e to the x is neither even nor odd. Second way, using a table. These are our values from the table that we know, starting with the same x values. Remember, we're going to take the opposite and raise e to that power. So e to the opposite of 2 is 1 over e squared, which is 0.14. So we plot 2, 0.14. When x is 1, e to the opposite of 1 is e to the negative 1, which is a reciprocal of e, which is 0.4, 1, 0.4. The opposite of 0 is still 0, 1 over 1 is 1, so 0, 1. The opposite of negative 1 is positive 1, so e to the first power is approximately 2.7, so negative 1, 2.7. And finally, e to the opposite of negative 2 is e squared, which is 7.4 approximately. So negative 2, 7.4. Draw the asymptote, the x-axis, and connect the points. Comparing it to the other graphs, you can see that it's neither even nor odd.